Do you believe that a wedding is the right setting, the right place for a child? Or do children ruin wedding days by crying and, the couple are up the top of the altar doing their vows, and in the background in the congregation they're when he's trying to say I do, when she's trying to say I do. When it gets to 9 o'clock at night, when the party is kicking off and the sandwiches are coming out and the wedding cake is coming out, the kids are all wrecked, tired, and they just want to go to bed and they're narky. If you have kids as well, would you be upset if you got a wedding invite for yourselves but not for your kids? Supposing you got a wedding invite next week, save the date, and it said, Dear Jeremy and Katie, you are welcome to attend our wedding next March. However, you can't bring your kids. Well, I wouldn't say it like that. It'd be a bit more subtle than that. But would you be upset about that? Well, journalist and podcaster Niamh Maher is going through this dilemma at the moment. And she's been talking about it on her.ie, where she asks the question, do I want these adorable sugar monsters at my wedding? And she's basically saying it's your wedding. You can have adults only if you want. Niamh joins us on the line. How are you, Niamh? Welcome to Opinions Matter.
Hi, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
Thank you very much for coming on with us. First of all, congratulations. You're engaged. I don't know how long you're engaged. Are you engaged long or?
Oh, thanks so much. Yeah, I've been engaged for about a month now, actually. So not too long, but I'm pretty much in the thick of planning now. It's happened quite quickly since I got the ring on my finger, which I also wasn't expecting, but really enjoying the process. And yeah, the kids at the wedding situation came up. The question came up for me actually quite early on after the engagement when the numbers just started racking up.
Yeah, they do, don't they? And the thing about it is, this is why weddings are a nightmare as well. And I don't mean to pee on your parade here, but wedding, I'm sure you're going to realise this, that weddings can be as much a nightmare because when it comes to the whole invites thing. Now, are there many in both your families, the wider family unit, are there many children?
So it's a great question. There isn't. There's a few very close, kids of cousins that I would be very close with. And then there's older children as well who would be kind of 13, 14. So there's not a massive amount of very close family kids that I would be inviting. So why I found this such an interesting topic was because it was kind of about more of the broader range of guests that I was going to be inviting. So it would have been regarding, my best friend's children who, I've known for years, but do I want them at the wedding? And, eventually, you come to the realization that I'm buying dinner for 140 people, and do I need to buy dinner for all of their children as well? So that was kind of what it came to.
So basically, you're stingy. Is that what you're saying in a roundabout way? No, I get the point you're making. Yeah. Now, the only thing about it is when you buy a meal for a child at a wedding, it's not as expensive. It doesn't come in, per head. I can't remember at our wedding, whatever it was for the adults, say it was €180 per head. I don't know what it was, but it's never it's not as expensive. For putting the money aspect of it aside for a moment, because that is a fair point. I mean, why should you pay for a hotel to put up a plate in front of a kid when he's not even going to eat it and he's going to moan about it? Do you believe that a wedding setting is the right place for a child? And I'm talking about the church, the afters, the nighttime event, the whole thing as a package.
Exactly. It's such a valid point. And this was the reason why I wrote about it and why I actually did the opinion poll as well, because I wanted to hear what other people thought. And the vast majority of people agreed with me on that it's actually not an appropriate place to have children, because if you're thinking about it, are they going to enjoy a full day at a wedding? So they obviously get, easily distracted at the best of times. They need to be entertained, not to mention getting tired. Frustrating for the parents as well, because, are they actually going to be able to let loose and have a good time? And that's kind of what I was thinking about. So I personally don't think that it's appropriate to have children there when ultimately they may not have a good time, or I'd have to, buy a clown or something and I have them entertained constantly for not buy a clown, rent a clown. I don't know how to get a clown. And just
rentaclown.com. That's where you get them, I'd imagine. I don't know.
I don't know either. But yeah, it's a whole other entertainment that you have to think about on the day. And ultimately, it is about you. Like, I'm 35 years of age. I've been to more weddings, baby showers, engagement parties that I can count. And to be honest with you, on my wedding day, it's up to me and my fiance whether or not we want kids at the wedding.
Oh, completely. And I think a lot of people forget this about weddings, and a lot of people organise their wedding to please other people. Will my mother be happy with this, or will your mother be happy? No, completely. And I'm glad that you're actually viewing it that way, that this day is about you and your partner. And if you want to get married and walk up the aisle to Star Wars music, whatever it may be, no, but if you want to do that is your day. But I'm on the completely opposite side of things. We did have a child wedding, and we involved the children in the day. We had them bringing up the rings and stuff like that. Now, but I have to say, at the afters by 10 o'clock, when the parents were all getting up and doing rock the boat on the floor and all that, the kids were getting whingy and crying because it's a long day. But we certainly, it was never an option for us that we were going to have a wedding without kids, because I think kids make a wedding day, providing they're nice kids, you know what I mean? And we didn't, but as well, you have to, and we didn't go down the clown route or anything like that, but you have this, if you end up, ordering clowns and all, it ends up looking like McDonald's on a Saturday afternoon, and you don't want your wedding looking like McDonald's, where you have clowns going around making animal balloons and stuff like that. And that's probably what you don't want.
Well, exactly. But I do want to also say that even though I kind of came down a little bit hard on my opinion there, so for my personal wedding, we have decided that we're going to have some children at the wedding, but it's going to be, a select few children who, like you mentioned there, Jeremy, will add so much more to the day for us. So,
okay.
I'm
so
not
it's
saying that
no brats at the wedding. Is that what we're getting at here?
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's not no kids that I don't have a relationship with. I mean, I remember when we put up the poll on our Instagram, like, so many people got involved and said things like, how can you not have children at the wedding? If they're family, you have to invite them, and then, make peace with it. Children are part of the family, so they're going to be a part of your day. And I totally agree with that as well. But I do think there has to be boundaries. And I think that you have to not compare to other couples when you're planning your wedding. And from what I've seen, and literally I've only been engaged a month, so open to all other opinions on this. But what I found is that every single person compares the situation of a wedding and planning of the wedding to other people's big day. And myself and my fiance have actually fallen into that as well. We found ourselves comparing our day to what some of our friends have had. And you're just setting yourself up for disappointment, and disappointment for yourself and disappointment for your guests as well, because ultimately you just want to have the best time on the day with all the people that you love. And I think that if somebody was to get upset or to get disappointed by you not inviting their kids, and if they were to cause a big ruckus about it, then that's probably more of a reflection on them, and maybe it's better if they don't come to the wedding too.
Let me ask you about the survey that was conducted on the Her. It was the Her.ie Instagram page, was it? That's where it was conducted.
Oh, yeah.
A huge response to it. So it's a fairly accurate and sizable vote, fairly statistically accurate. And it was a simple question, children attending weddings, yes or no. What were the results of that poll? Oh, sorry, are you there, Niamh? Oh, sorry, Niamh got cut off. We'll get back to her. I won't give you the results just yet. We'll try and get her back, if you can, please, Kate. I don't know what happened. She got cut off. We're talking to journalist and podcaster from Her.ie, Niamh Maher, who's, fair play to her. She's only engaged a month, and she's already talking about the wedding. But they are planning, guests and stuff like that, and she doesn't know whether or not children should be invited. And as you heard from her there, there's certain children she wants there, but does she really want the kids of Barry and Joanne, who she worked with 5 years ago? And she doesn't know that well, but she's inviting Barry and Joanne, but she's not inviting Barry and Joanne's kids. I'd like to hear from you. Send us a WhatsApp voice note to 085, that number there, 085 825 2626. 085 825 2626. Have you been to a wedding? We'll be hearing from a woman in a moment who was at a child-free wedding and she absolutely loved it. If you've been to a wedding, do kids make or break a wedding? Now, sorry, Niamh, we have you back there. You were just about to give out the results of the poll. So the question you asked was, children attending weddings, yes or no? Thousands of votes. What was the result?
Yeah. So 60% of people said no to children attending weddings and 40% said yes. So to give you a little insight into how many people actually took part, over 10,121 people said no to children attending weddings and 6,722 people said absolutely yes, they should be at the weddings and they would only enhance the day. So it wasn't a landslide, but very interesting.
10,000 people that hate kids. Who knew? No, but I get, I get the point. If you are, I'm just thinking if we got a wedding in, no, I hate wedding invites. That's another topic for another day. I'd rather get a court summons than get a wedding invite, and that's the God honest truth. But if I got a wedding invite next week, for early next year, I think it would be probably better if it didn't have the kids on it, because you could leave the kids with the granny and then make a night of it and actually have a good night. Because when you have kids with you, you're probably worried about, oh God, we have to, we're going to have to get them up to the room early and we're not going to be able to get drunk. So how many children are you now? Have you got the list done? Have you decided on it yet?
I've got about 5 fantastic children that we're very excited to have at our big day, a range of ages as well. We've got 13, 14-year-olds, and then a very young 2-year-old as well. But I think an important point to make, and this is something that I'm going to do, is, you're obviously planning, you're in the thick of it, you're making these decisions. For the children that you really want to be a part of your day, do ask the parents whether or not they want to have their kids there on the day too, because the vast majority of people that I've been asking, when it comes to even their opinions, have said, we don't want to bring our kids with us. We want to have a night off. The kids will have way more fun watching Peppa Pig as well. So don't be afraid to ask those questions, even if they feel a little bit uncomfortable, because it's your day, and do, make your own rules a little bit. Don't bow down to family pressure or the politics of marriage. That kind of way. I think that's important.
I agree with you completely. I think so many people just give in to that kind of pressure. One final question before I let you go, slightly off topic. Are you going to do a gift list for the wedding? Is that still a thing now, or is that gone? Where you send out...
Oh my God. Jeremy, I haven't even got to that yet, but absolutely. I 100% want all the gifts. I just think it's if you don't want 7 toasters, so 100%. I think having a gift list is a nice way for people if they want to gift you with anything. But look, for me, the day itself is just going to be a celebration. So again, I haven't even got to that on my list yet about thinking about it, but I'm sure I will. That's another conversation. Maybe I'll have a poll on that one.
No, what I was about to say, that's an even better article, because that's something. Katie sitting beside me here is nodding her head. She wants to strangle you. She wants to jump down the... What's wrong, Katie? What's wrong?
Oh my God. A gift list. It's so cheeky.
I don't think
so. It's so... When I got married, I would never... people would ask, what do you want? I'd be like... I don't want anything. Just it wouldn't have bothered me, but I certainly would never have made a list of things I want.
I know, but the point that Niamh...
you know what? I kind of agree with that, but I do think that it's one of the things people
don't agree with her, Niamh. Don't agree with her, Niamh.
People will gift you no matter what. So I would prefer to steer them in a direction rather than get a lot of shite that we're not going to use. You know what I mean? Or potentially gift something else, or maybe give to a charity or something like that. But I think just letting people do whatever they want, you're just going to end up with a whole bunch of crap that you don't need.
And in fact, that's what we didn't do gift lists, and we got a lot of cash. Cash is great, by the way. When we went back to the room on our wedding night, normally newly married couples, the first thing they want to do is have sex, but the first thing we did when we went into the bridal suite was we opened up all the cards to count all the cash that we got. That's how money driven.
Did you get any toasters, Jeremy? Did you get any toasters?
Okay, and I have to be careful what I say, because there could be people listening who gave us these gifts. So let's just say we got gifts that weren't very practical. So what we did is we had a wardrobe at home, and we put them all in the regifting wardrobe, and anybody whose wedding we went to in the subsequent years, they ended up getting those presents regifted. So
regifting, it's all out there now. They know, Jeremy. They know.
Here, listen, I've just given you a month of articles to go on. Anyway, I'm sure we talk to you before the big day anyway about your wedding woes and the plans. Thanks very much, Niamh.
Thanks so much,
Cheers.
Jeremy.
Bye-bye. That's Niamh Maher from her.ie, who is going through... Oh my God, I have to be honest with you. The thoughts of, I think this is a conversation for another day about wedding planning and stuff like that. And I'm going to be brutally honest here, and my wife knows how I feel about this. No man wants to plan a wedding. I have to be honest with you. No man. There's not one man. You may be listening at the moment, and you're engaged to be married, and your fella's beside you there, or he's in work, and he may be telling you that he wants to go to wedding fairs and that he wants to choose what wedding cake, and he wants to pick the pew ends and what flowers and what pieces of music are going to be played. I can tell you now, he doesn't give a damn. The only part of the wedding planning that I had any interest in was the food tasting and the cake tasting. The rest of it, I couldn't care less I didn't even know what a pew end was. And my wife, to be at the time, was getting really upset. You need to do research. You need to... Why do you not care what pew ends we have in the church? And I'm like, because I don't. No man cares about what hymns and whether or not it's a reading from St. Paul to the Corinthians. No man, they don't. I'm sorry, Katie.
No, Alan was useless. The only when we went to see our venue, the only thing he asked, obviously, I was asking all the practical questions, about what time dinner would be at, and that the only question he asked was what time the bar opens till.
Yeah,
I was like, that is your input to the whole day. Yeah. Is what time the bar opens till. He was useless.
Yeah, but you can't feign interest. Men can't.
I asked him to come to the flower to see the florist with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
No.
Men and flowers. Thanks, Katie. Send us in anyway, I digress there. Send us in a WhatsApp voice note about children at weddings. 085 825 2626. Igor has been on to us on Facebook, and Igor says, not true, Jer, I enjoyed planning things. Igor, that sounds to me that you were a man who's terrified to say no to your wife, that you were terrified to say to her, listen, I am absolutely bored looking at flower arrangements. I don't care. Okay, let's put it to the test. Is there one man listening right now to this show who enjoyed planning the wedding? One man. Bar Igor, who I don't believe. Send us a WhatsApp, 085 825 2626. 085 825 2626. Anyway, back to the kids at the wedding. And is this Kiz? Kiz?
It's Kiri. Well, Kiz, yes.
Oh, Kiz, how are you? We call you Kiz. Kids at weddings, yes or no?
No, not for me personally. We got engaged during the toy show just last year, so we're starting to plan our wedding now, and he wants kids there for his daughter to play with, and I'm just like, no.
Okay.
No kids.
By the way, what a great time to get engaged during the toy show, and especially the toy show last year, because it was very magical. It was a very special toy show.
It was really good. And
what, did he get down on his knee during the toy show?
No, he was cheeky and he got his daughter to ask me, so I couldn't say no.
Ah, that's lovely. And what age is his daughter and your stepdaughter to be?
She's 4.
Okay.
So it was a pretty magical night.
And you're being the evil stepmother by not letting her have friends at the wedding. That's awful. How can you do that to her?
I work with kids day in, day out. I don't want them at my wedding. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things, like we're looking to get married in a pub in town, so it's cheap, cheerful, get everyone out for a night out.
I get you.
I don't want kids there. No. You know what I mean? It'd be different if I had my own. We do have one.
Yeah.
And she'll have a great time. She'll be the centre of attention in her pretty dress, all of that. Like, I can't imagine my day with kids there.
Why? What do you think kids are going to do? Do you think they're going to knock over the wedding cake? Do you think they're going to pee on the floor or get sick over your wedding dress? Like, what do you think?
No, like kids are kids. There's battles daily. There's poo. There's everything. Like, I just don't want anyone near me. It's horrible, but that's just my opinion, and it's completely different to the next person's opinion. I just feel like for me, it's just no kids at my wedding.
Okay, and give me. Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Give me the top 3 reasons why you're not having kids at your wedding. Top 3 reasons, please.
Crying.
Okay, let me write that down.
Noisy.
Yeah.
And just tantrums galore.
And what? What was the last one?
And tantrums.
Oh, tantrums.
Because if they don't get an iPad, they don't get any entertainment. There's going to be tantrums. There's going to be screaming. Yeah. On top of that, our budget is 6,000. I am already paying for 54 people's dinner. I do not want to have to pay for any more.
But in fairness, now, fish fingers and chips for the kids won't set you back that much. I'm sure it's not the cost. It's that.
But it's not on the menu. That's the thing. We're looking at a pub in town, so you have to think like town prices on top of
like bistro menu kind of thing. Like nowhere is going to do it. You know what I mean? So it's different if it was like in a big hotel wedding.
Yeah. Well,
and there was room for the kids to run around. But like we're looking at the boats in town, so it's like quite tiny. It's space. You don't want kids running around under your feet.
Come here. I presume the invites have been sent out in all this stage, have they?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We only booked the day yesterday.
Okay. You need to get to save the dates out. But let me ask you a question. Do you think you'll get any kickback from relatives when they realise that it's an adults only wedding?
No, like we've already said it. Like all of my family are in the same boat. Like not one person has had children at the wedding bar their own. And at that, like there's a sitter at come after dinner. There's a sitter there for the kids. I grew up in a family where it's like weddings are for adults. It's they go have a bit of crack. Yeah. They all get together. They're all living in a different county, different country, wherever. So it's like a big family get together. But it's like during the day, it's fine to have the kids there.
Yeah, I know.
Or kids.
In the evening time,
but then yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
One final question. Your husband to be, what's his first name?
Carl.
Is Carl willing and able and ready to help in the planning for this wedding?
Oh yeah, like he's already got the folder out. He's doing all the writing. He's like all well into it. Like he's in the alcohol industry. He's already like trying to negotiate on their prices.
Okay.
Like he's doing everything.
Okay.
He's more into it than I am.
Is it a church wedding or can I ask her? Is that?
No, we're gonna do like the humanist ceremony and then go do that in City Hall hopefully, and then go over to the pub and have a bit of grub and a bit of a party. Sounds
great. We got married in the church even though neither of us are religious because my wife said the photographs would look nicer on the wedding day. That's what we did. Yeah, it was. I know. Doesn't that just show you the hypocrisy of the whole thing? Anyway, I'm sure we'll speak to you before you get married. Enjoy the organisation.
Hopefully.
Fair play to you. Cheers. That is Kiz, child-free wedding coming up this year at some stage, and the best of luck to her and her boyfriend, her fiance, Carl. We were still looking for that man who is enjoying or did enjoy organising weddings. We're still trying to find him. If you're out there, there is the number 085 825 2626. Is there any man who actually enjoys planning a wedding? Now, some of your WhatsApp voice notes. We're talking about children at weddings. And where are we? Lauren was at a child-free wedding and she loved it.
Hi guys. I'm not married, as you know, but my cousin got married in 2016 and there was no children allowed at her wedding, which was fine. It was great. Actually, it's one of my best memories of a wedding, I think, because it was my family. We were all together and it was just brilliant. We just got to mingle with everybody and I really, really enjoyed it. Then a couple of months later, we went to my other half's family's wedding. There were kids at that and I had great memories of that too, but that was the best memories I had were actually with my kids, because my kids some of them were young, and you know, you get great crack out of kids when they're young and they're up dancing and they don't have a care in the world, and that's what made it for me. But I think that's because I didn't know everybody at that wedding, so my focus was on the kids and having a laugh with them, and that because that was his family and not mine, so that is where my focus went. So I don't really know. I think it really all depends on the actual wedding and who you're going to, if you know everybody and such. But I had good experiences with both. I think it was my family's one that I enjoyed the most, but that's because I knew everybody and it was more comfortable in that way.
Okay, fair enough. Let me go to, sorry, who do we have on the line? Is it Dave? Dave, your own opinions matter. How are you?
Jamie, how's it going?
Are you the man we've been looking for?
I am the man that you've been looking for, yeah. Oh. I love planning my wedding.
Oh my God. Because you're going to put me to shame now because I didn't.
Yeah.
What did you love planning about your wedding?
I just planned, like, it was just, I kind of knew what the wife wanted as well, like, you know, so I just had to make sure that everything was kind of perfect for her on the day, you know, that way. Like, I sorted the car, I sorted the flowers, I started all the bits and pieces to go on the tables. Like I had like everything kind of sorted down to like, well, you got vases with the with the package in the hotel, but I organised these like separate like mirrors to go around underneath them, and like
lovely. It sounds very exciting. Did you do it because you wanted to help your wife to be out, or did you do it because you genuinely had an interest in it? Sorry, he's actually gone. We'll try and get it back. Let me read out a couple of your messages about this. You're right, Jeremy. No man wants to plan a wedding day, says Anne. Men just do it because they want to help their wife, and that's the point. And they know, the women know that you are feigning interest in the wedding. They know you're just doing it because to keep them happy. But sorry, you're back there, Dave. Sorry, you were. I think you were boring me there talking about mirrors at weddings and stuff like that. Which you
fell asleep.
Yeah, I fell asleep. What was the most exciting part for you of organising this wedding?
The car. I organised the car.
So what's to organise with the car? You ring them up and you say, "I want a Mercedes." There you go. The car comes, and that's it.
Yeah, but I wanted a certain type of car, like, so I have to check it out and find somewhere that's done that.
Sorry, what car did you get married in?
I got a Rolls Royce Phantom.
Oh, lovely! Wow. How much did that set you back?
It was €850, but literally that was the drive from Bray to the Amber Springs Hotel and stuff.
God, it's a fair bit of money for a car, but still, it seems like it was.
Yeah, it is. Like when I look back at it now, I was kind of confused. Jesus, was I absolutely mental? Like, I remember waking up the next morning. Like we got up the next morning, we were going through the presents and stuff, and we were kind of thinking, Jesus, I'm spending €850 on a car. Did we need that? She wanted these certain little things for the ends of the pews in the church.
Yeah, the pew.
Over 300 for them. And it was kind of we could have done without them, and I could have got this.
It all adds up. But when you look back in the day, you say to yourself, did I really need the pew ends? It's just money. The one thing, sorry, I've just got a text message from a family member of mine, and the one thing I did organise that I'd forgotten about, I organised the fireworks that night. No, I don't mean that there was a row. I mean actual fireworks. That was the one thing I always wanted. We got married abroad. On the beach, and the one thing I always wanted that evening was a fireworks display on the beach, so I got to organise that. So that was the one thing, and the cake as well. They were the two things. And my own suit. I got to pick my own suit, but the rest of it was just absolutely boring. I mean, we don't care what hymns we have when people are walking up the aisle. My main thing was, will she turn up and will she say yes? And will anybody get sick? Will anybody get sick and drunk and embarrass us? And none of that happened. So at the end of the day,
just on the kids.
Oh yes, the kids. Yes,
we had the same dilemma with ours because her family's quite big. Like, so there was a lot of her brothers had 3 kids here, and then one of her friends had 4 kids. All this kind of stuff. So we just put it down to page boys and flower girls, and that was it. And there was people that didn't turn up to our wedding, that were aunties and uncles and stuff, that said, "Oh well, we know where to put the kids."
Oh my God!
I'm really sorry, but they're not I'm not doing kids. I'm only literally doing flower girls and page boys, and that's it. And they actually didn't show up to the wedding, even though they said they were going. They never showed up because they didn't bring the kids to them.
It's another day's work. Thanks very much for your call, Dave. No shows at weddings. Absolute. Oh my God, the rudest thing you can possibly do. It's so insulting.